Welcome to Forte and Goal. As per usual, I'm coming to you not at the 12th hour, but maybe the 13th hour. You have to excuse me, to be all honest. Look, I was, busy all week with work and also just got back from a little bit more celebrating my anniversary. So I do apologize to you guys. Um, Today we're predicting the NFC and AFC championship games. Okay, so we're unfortunately almost at the end of the season, and even worse, the Cowboys are no longer in the playoffs, no longer in the picture. So I'll talk about the other teams. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now this is really funny because this is kind of like a little bit of a David Goliath type of thing. Now David obviously are the Cincinnati Bengals, who are they haven't been in the postseason like this. Well, haven't been in the postseason in a while. Haven't gone this deep in forever. Until I think it was the '80s with the Icky Shuffle and all of that. I don't know if you guys can remember that. Boomer Esiason was the quarterback. So we're talking way back. But now they've got this incredible connection with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, which is what the Bengals had hoped for when they took Jamar Chase with the number one pick in the draft. Um, well, the number one receiver, not the number one pick, but the number one receiver off the board, and that was pretty incredible. The to think that they could have went offensive tackle like a lot of people thought they might, and instead they went with Chase, and it's worked out. Despite his drops in the preseason, they have connected. They have played well together. They have been phenomenal. You add, the other receivers into the mix, and you're talking about a offense with a lot of firepower. And if they can just keep their offensive line reasonably good, they could be a tough team on offense. I mean, don't forget they've got Joe Mixon, a great running back, a very good running back. They've got weapons all over the place. T. Higgins, Boyd. They've got weapons. These guys are talented, and their defense started off the season pretty hot. They've trickled down a little bit, but they're still I think a defense that is capable of good performances. Now, the Goliath in all of this would of course be the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been to the past three AFC championships in a row. They've got arguably the best quarterback in the league at this point in time, arguably. And they've got, Andy Reid has been there, done that. He's a great coach. Their defense is playing good football. I mean, this Kansas City Chiefs team is definitely hitting on almost all cylinders. They're playing good football, okay? They've recaptured their fire on offense. They're getting it together. And this Bengal team is not really being given a whole lot of chances to win this game by most people. And don't forget the game is in Arrowhead Stadium. So, all that being said, guys, what are you thinking about this game? Well, here's what I think. I think that the home field advantage always plays a role. I think that Arrowhead gives Kansas City a huge advantage. I think that's part of the reason they've managed to make it to the Super Bowl the past three seasons. 2 seasons and possibly a third. But yeah, the home field advantage is big. This is why teams want to be the number one seed. It's why you fight for the best records and so on and so on. So I do think that this home field advantage is going to be big. It's going to be big. Now, I don't necessarily think that the Chiefs' defense is going to stop this Bengals offense. I do think that Burrow is special, and he's going to be able to either run for first downs to keep drives alive, buy extra seconds. He's going to make some plays, okay, much like the top quarterbacks in the league do, improvisationally. I don't trust the Bengals offensive line against a team that the Kansas City Chiefs that do blitz. I mean, they're going to bring pressure. They've got guys like Chris Jones, and they've got the ability to really get after you. Spagnola's a good defensive coordinator, very respected, and he's the type of guy that he will bring it. He brings exotic blitz pressures. He does. He brings a lot of that. So you can best believe that if you cannot solve the blitz, if you're not good at handling it, you're in trouble. I do think that the Bengals can handle it. I think that they have the quick screens to the wide receivers, the running back screens. I think that they execute those plays really well. They should be able to nullify that. But that's what we're talking about from Kansas City. From the Bengals standpoint, I think that they have a competent defense that could give that offense for Kansas City a challenge. But are they good enough to stop KC right now? I mean, nobody seems to be stopping them, right? Are they good enough to stop them? Probably not. But can they slow them down? Maybe. Their offense is certainly, if they can ground and pound, if they can control the clock, if they can continue to, extend drives, they have a chance to do a little bit like what the Bills did and take control of the game and, make it a one-possession game and maybe pull it out if they can just leave them with no time on the clock. But I'm not so sure they're going to be able to do that. I mean, remember, the Bills had the number one defense statistically in the league last year, this past season. And they couldn't stop them with 13 seconds on the clock. They allowed a field goal, which is still, I'm trying to wrap my head around that, makes no sense whatsoever. So, this is what we're looking at in terms of the matchup. This is going to be an interesting matchup, like I said. As I just outlined the strengths and so on, it should be an interesting game. I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks in this game. Expect some big plays, expect some crazy offense. I do expect it to be a relatively high-scoring game. I would love to see Cincinnati win this game, but I think it's an uphill battle. You're talking about David versus Goliath. I mean, Kansas City's they're back in their lane. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Andy Reid, and I just feel like, to me, he's the best coach in the league. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I think he's just the best coach in the league. And yeah, that's even better than Bill Belichick or anybody else, LaFleur or McVay or you name it. I just think Andy Reid's the best coach in the league. So, and he's got a good staff around him. So I'm going to go with Kansas City winning the game, although it's going to be a good battle. It's going to be very interesting. And I will be rooting for the Bengals, but I think they're too much. I'm going to say relatively high-scoring game, 37-32. 37-32, the Chiefs will win this game. Rivalry for the NFC Championship. We've got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the LA Rams. Now, this is really a fun matchup because the Niners with Shanahan, have basically owned McVay and the Rams, and they've won a bunch of, 6 or 7 matchups in a row. And like I said, since Shanahan's been there. Now, I seriously question any Niners team that has, Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback, and not to say that the guy can't throw or he's not a good quarterback. It's just that he's Jimmy G, and you know what? He turns the ball over. He doesn't make the best decisions. Sometimes he's off target. I mean, Jimmy G is just, not a top level quarterback. Now, I think Stafford is a top 10 type quarterback. He's got the arm, he's got mobility, he's got experience. He's got good weapons around him, and he's in a great system with the McVay offense. Their defense is, while they're not like a top defense like they were, last year, number one defense, they're talented. They're able to do great things. Sometimes they're exposed, but for the most part, you're still talking about a very competent defense that can dominate at certain positions. I mean, Aaron Donald is, in terms of an interior lineman, I don't think there's anyone any better. So you're talking about a weapon. The guy, did about 20 sacks last season? He's insanely good, okay? you know, against the line for the Niners, which is good, not great. For the Niners, it's all about, can they establish their running game? Can they keep your defense off balance? And then on their defensive side is, can they force you to pass? Because that's where they can unleash their pass rush, which they usually use four men, and can they get creative on the back end? They don't have the best corners or even the best safeties, but they do have a great front seven, and they do have the ability to play disciplined defense. They are capable of beating the Rams, as they have done this season already. This game is in LA. That doesn't seem to matter. I just mentioned how they've won six or seven straight games. I don't think that the Rams are unstoppable by any measure, but I do think that the run of winning will end today, because I think that the Rams are just straight up a better team. I do think that the better quarterback will succeed. Yeah, I don't trust Cam Akers, by the way. I mean, some people are like, oh, we lost him earlier in the season. And yeah, you get him back, okay, but you know what? He's not great. He's not a top five running back, and right now he's a liability in terms of fumbles. So he better be careful with handling the ball, because he just might give the ball back to the Niners. So, like I said, the Niners are capable of winning this game. It's going to be a fun game, but I do see the Rams winning it. I don't think it's going to be particularly high scoring. I think there'll be plenty of running by the Niners. That's going to wear the clock out. I think it'll be more of a chess match, more of a defensive type of game. It's going to be a lower scoring game. I want the Rams to win this game. I don't want the Niners back, but I do see the Rams winning this game. And of the four teams that are going, the one team that I would really like to see in the Super Bowl are the Bengals. But you got to just go with the consolation. So yeah, I'd rather the Rams. So yeah, I expect the Rams to win this game. I think it's going to be, like I said, a relatively low scoring. I'll say 27-20, 27-21. 27-21, the Rams will win this game. That's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoy your conference championships. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully in the next few videos, I get a little more creative in terms of the visual, and I do plan to do a video on Tom Brady's retirement, or at least this is what we're hearing, that he's retiring, even though a post came out that he had told Tampa Bay he's not even close to making a decision, which would be contrary to the reports. I do think that he's retiring, and we'll make a video on that. For those of you who know me, you know how I feel. I'm pretty passionate about Tom Brady, so not in the way that people think. So that's all I got, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. Until the next time. Ciao.